headphones in, and just right there. It wasn't too far. Well, it would have been if I was walking, so I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go. It's about 11:10 now at night, and I couldn't go to my local Tesco, so I thought, you know, why not? It'll be a good idea to go to the 24-hour Super Tesco. It's one of them Tesco extras, you know. So what happens is, I set out, I go down towards the canal, I get on the canal, and it was stupid of me going down the canal at night, but, you know, this was across like people's front gardens, like across the bottom of their houses, because a few people do live on this canal. So I thought, you know, it'll be pretty cool. There's a pub across this canal, and it's pretty lit up. So, you know, I decided to go the one way which I wouldn't have to go under like this really long tunnel. And in the future, I may do an ASMR video on my main channel down there, because this tunnel is over 100 years old. When it's like snowing and like freezing temperatures, it forms icicles on the roof of the tunnel. The brickwork's all, you know, mashed up, and water drips from the brickwork, and it's nearly a mile long. It's like a quarter of a mile. I say nearly a mile, but yeah, it's a quarter of a mile. So if you want me to do an ASMR video down there, I don't know, it's pretty dark down there. I'm pretty surprised, you know, that this tunnel's still up, or, you know, people are still allowed to go under there, but that's that, I guess. I get to the Tesco, and, you know, like where you go to like lock your bikes up. I'm like, oh, I'll just lock my bike up here. My lock's always in my bag. So, you know, I take my bike over to that area, I unzip my bag, I go to pull out my lock, and I notice that my lock is not there. And I don't know why it wasn't there, but like this was just bad in my part, and I don't know why it's always there. Like even now it's there. Like what? I was a bit confused. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? And I'm debating whether to go in the Tesco, whether I could ask someone, whether I should take it in the Tesco and see what was going on. Thinking back about it now, I would have took my bike in 100%. I normally used to with my friends, but then we got in trouble for it and got banned, so I was like, damn, I can't really do that, can I? So I sat there for 10-15 minutes debating, should I, you know, take my bike in? Should I leave it outside? What should I do? Like, what should I actually do? Should I ride home? I was even thinking about that, but I couldn't do that because I rode nearly an hour to get to this Tesco. I'm not just going to ride another hour back without getting it, like what I came for, you know what I mean? So, you know, I literally just walk out the doors, go over to the section where my bike is. It's really close to the store. So, you know, I walk over to where I left my bike, where I thought it was going to be, and to my surprise, my bike is not there. It is fully gone. So I panic, and I'm like, oh damn. So I run back into the store, and I literally just clear the whole like bottom floor looking for the security guard, and I think to myself, oh shit, the security's not here. It's past 12. What do I do? So I run up the escalators. By the way, this is one of the Tesco extras, as I explained at the start of the video. So the bottom floor is like a car park, and then you have like the inside bit, which is literally just all flat, where they have like some rides for kids and whatnot, and they have a lift. So I go up the escalator, I run over to the woman that serves me, and I literally just, you know, I'm talking with her, I'm like, I left my bike downstairs, it's got robbed. And she's like, what do you mean he's got robbed? And I was like, well, you know, I kind of didn't have my lock with me, so I just thought I'd leave it for like 5 or 10 minutes. And she's like, oh boy, you can't be that stupid, can you? And I'm like, can you help me please? And she's like, oh, go over to customer services and wait there, I'll call someone down. So I'm like, okay, thank you. So I go to the customer services, and they basically explain, okay, so whereabouts did you leave your bike? And I was like, in the dark area of where the bike, you know, where the bike shed kind of is. And she was like, oh, okay, the cameras don't pick up there. And I'm like, what do you mean the cameras don't? And she was like, well, oh, okay, so she's like, right, you're gonna have to call the police. Have you called the police? And I was like, no, I have not yet called the police. And she was like, well, that's a good start, isn't it? And I was like, in my head, okay, don't be like this. Like, I need some help. So I called the police. The police end up arriving. I have to wait like 20, 30 minutes after I've explained everything to them. And they was like, right, this is not an emergency. So, you know, I wait at the Tesco. The woman says, okay, you can have a seat here. Do you want me to go get you like a drink or anything? Are you okay? Like, and I'm like, yeah. Oh, it literally just came in the store. I went back in and he was gone. He's like, oh, okay, at least you're all good then. I was like, yeah, thank you. So the police arrive. It was 2 officers, a woman and a guy. I speak to them. I give them all my details. I basically tell them what's happened. And the woman officer, she was like, have you seen anyone? Like, why are you here so late? And I was like, well, all the shops near me, they close at 10, apart from the Tesco, which is 11. And I decided I wanted to grab some snacks after 11, so I ended up coming to this Tesco. It's like, well, can you have just waited? You know, it is pretty late. And I was like, well, that's not the point, is it? He's like, alright, fares. She was pretty young as well, I'd probably say like 26. So, yeah, that was that. So the dude starts speaking to me, he's writing everything down basically. And he's like, okay, would you be able to get a member of staff? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, the woman that was just here, would you be able to go back and get her? So I was like, okay. So I went, and I basically went to the woman who served me again, and I was like, could you call someone back down? Preferably the woman who, you know, was dealing with my situation, who you called down earlier, because the police would like to speak with her. She's like, yeah, that's fine. So she comes back over. Thank you so much to this woman, really nice. Like, she was sorting me out, no bother. She comes over to customer services. She does that, you know, Tannoy thing. Come to customer services. Come to customer services. Thank you. And she goes back to what she's doing, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And it's just really annoying. I was walking up and down quite aggressively, not aggressively, but you know, I was just pacing. So the woman, she ends up coming back down to customer services, and she's like, hello officers, is everything okay? And she's like, well, we're gonna need to check your cameras. And the woman at customer services, she's like, well, we can't give you authorised access to the cameras right now because they're currently rolling. And I was like, well, oh god, okay. And the police were like, okay. So they went into like this area, into like an office in the Tesco, and I had to fill out some sort of Tesco thing of basically being robbed at the Tesco. So they're all sorting that situation. This is like a part 1. I don't exactly know much else after that. They basically said, we'll keep in contact, can we have your details, blah 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 blah, where do you live, you know, all that sort of stuff, your age and whatnot. And I was like, okay. So I gave you them all. And the Tesco said if they find anything on their cameras, they'll be quick to inform the police, because they said they would check them, but they couldn't right now because the cameras are rolling until they get stopped, and you know, the discs or something like that gets digitally until like everything gets swapped over. They basically explain like they've got to do something with the cameras, and they can't just randomly stop them in case an incident does happen. Then it takes time for them to roll back up, and that's not within their power to do so. So I could kind of understand. So at this point, it is a waiting game, as they explained. It's been 3 weeks. I haven't heard nothing back apart from a call 2 days ago from one of the officers that I spoke to. He personally called me, and he was out of work. And I spoke with him for like 5 or 10 minutes. He basically was saying that they're still doing the investigation. They're checking through the footage, and they'll let me know within a week. So, you know, if anything comes back to me, I'll explain to you. But then I did kind of get some sad news when I was in the Tesco leaving with the officers. They basically said that, you know, because it's a missing item, it's not really high on the police to-do list. So there's probably a 90% chance that nothing of this will get resolved for your benefit. It's one of them, like, you know, it was dark, things happened, it's not really of high value. And I was in my head like, damn, that's really upsetting, you know, like the bike that I, you know, personally bought myself has just gone like that, and they can't do nothing. You know, you really need to get insurance, and it just shows that police can't really do much, you know, when it comes to things like that, unless they want to. But I'm not bashing any police, of course not. I'm just saying that's just how it is. That's just how it will always be. It's an item. Items come, they go. But it's just really upsetting that, you know, the money that you've earned can just go like that. don't really see much of a help, if you get what I mean. But that is basically going to end today's video, guys. It's just so sad, man. But yeah, the police was kind enough to give me a lift home. There's like, oh, where do you live? If it's not too far, I can drop you. And there's like, oh, okay, my used to live around this area. And I was like, oh, really? And the woman officer, she was like, yeah, not too long back either. They recently moved though. For all the virus, it's been a bit weird though with moving, and that was basically it. They took me home. We had a little chat. They basically said, alright, are you okay? Is everything good? I was like, yeah, thank you so much for both of your help. And I was like, no problem. It was nice to meet you anyway, Isaac. And I was like, oh, you too, and you as well. So yeah, I said bye to both the officers. I'm not going to give their names, but that was really nice to me, so thank you. But yeah, I'm actually going to end it here. This is part 1. Hopefully there's a part 2. If there's not a part 2, I'd only do a part 2 if I do end up retrieving my bike and finding out who it is, if the camera footage picks that up. But if there's no part 2, you'll know that my bike is forever gone. Rest in peace, bike. It was a mountain bike, so yeah, rest in peace to the bike. I want to see you all doing a R.I.P. Isaac's bike.